let's just start off today. Everybody, let's just go around the group and talk about your biggest successes.
I'm really proud of the fact that I got SAG eligible. It's been a couple of years now since that's happened, and on my last shoot, I finally vectored out of PA world and got into the camera department and got a credit as a second AC.
As an actor, I have a movie on Amazon Prime that I starred in that I got. The role was written for me by a producer of another film that I did.
I art directed back in 2019 a movie called Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. And this past year, he was nominated for many awards. I kind of lost track there, but a big one was an Academy Award.
Tell us about the feature film you art directed and you joined the union.
I actually art directed a commercial for McDonald's, and that got me in the union. And recently we formed a green committee, which I am one of the co-chairs of. So we're working with all the different unions to make filmmaking less of an environmental impact on the world, because right now we just, it's not great.
I worked for 3 years on America's Got Talent. I work on American Idol, Top Chef, Master Chef, like all of them. But the longest one was America's Got Talent, where I became an associate producer. And I think it's my biggest accomplishment because it was really hard to me being from a different country and, and they had only one associate producers on the show. It was me. So I can just say thank you to myself, to my dedication.
I've been doing a lot of PAing, and I recently just got casted for my first acting role as a news reporter.
I think the most proud achievement of my career that I hold dear to my heart is the ability to make acting completely full time. I went on sets and I did PA work, and then I networked my little butt off. Eventually it got to a point where that PA work just kind of fed itself, because I've met so many key PAs and they would just call me up and they'd be like, hey, are you available for this and date? Then eventually that translated to, because I was networking so much, I would meet especially a lot of indie directors, and then they would pass my name on to more bigger directors. And then eventually I got enough funds to uproot, go to LA. Yeah, now I've just been completely sustaining myself through acting. It's super relieving because when I left New York, and I was okay, I'm gonna move to LA, I had a bit of anxiety and homesickness and stuff. So I was okay, the goal is now bi-coastal. Let's do it. And I did it. So yeah.
Once I got into your program, it all just made sense. And then since then, I've been on commercials, some print, and I got to be a stylist assistant. I've just been kind of floating around. And on that particular set, though, I got to learn how to gaff a little bit because it was, again, a skeleton crew. So they were like, can you do this? Can you do this? I was like, I could figure it out. I'll figure it out, So I got to do some wardrobe. And so it's just been an amazing experience learning. Before I was a personal assistant, some of it is applicable as a PA, at least. Being adaptable and being hands-on, ready to just literally being told what to do and just doing it and figuring it out. A couple days ago, I had a producer hit me up and was like, I have something next week. Are you available?
Biggest accomplishment is I've been working in commercials pretty steadily, and the past 6 months I've had an office PA job at a production company doing commercials, and it's been really great. And now I've just started to produce on the side.
My name is Omar. My biggest accomplishment, I have so many accomplishments this year. I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. It's so beautiful. Yeah. I worked on a Paramore music video, which I grew up listening to Paramore, and actually working with somebody that I listened to was incredible. I'm working on my first feature right now. We're in in pre-production, sound mixing that. So that's a big accomplishment too, my first feature. And it's actually something that I want to be doing. It has spiritual substance, and that's something that means a lot to me. Actually, in this industry, we work on stuff that is entertaining and it's fun to work on. And actually applying these skills onto something that you're passionate about is next level.
And you've worked with?
I've worked with Jack Black, Snoop Dogg, J-Lo, Vanessa Hudgens, 21 Pilot, Paramore, Caliucci.
My first IMDb, I got one. And it's from my first movie was a feature movie, and I met some people, and one of the people we became friends, and he invited me to another movie. And then that's how I got the IMDb, because from his movie, I got that. And the second one is that I got on my first paid PA job recently?
For a long time, for like 5 years, I was in Wisconsin. I did a lot of production assistant work on commercials and reality TV mostly. Then I started vectoring toward camera. I did camera assisting for a number of years as well. And I also made my first feature film as a writer and director and producer. It's called Cohabitation, and it's on Amazon and Tubi. I wrote and directed a short film last year that's actually premiering at a film festival tonight.
I guess one of the proudest things I ever remember is like the very first day, my very first production job. I had some people come up to me like, "How long have you been doing this, man? Like, you really have it all together." I said, "Oh, about 35 minutes. And I said, "Really?" And they go, "Yeah." It's like, they couldn't believe it. I actually, on that day, I had 3 people come up to me and said, like, "Wow, you really have it together. And how long have you been doing it?" This is my very first day, I've had my IMDb credits also, and first AC, second AC, done the grip, done the slate, did a little bit of everything. Focus pulled. If you're just ready and willing to, pick up wherever needs to be done, that's what it really is. And it just having the can-do attitude, it's really, really important.
I actually met a music producer, and he was building out his own studio. And so, long story short, I now have my own production company, and I'll be shooting all of the music videos for the artists that come through there. So
You already had it kind of going. So what is it about the course? How did it help you?
honestly, just to start, like where to start, the course really taught me to like get on the PA jobs, connect with people, and then from there it all kind of just works itself out.
Why are people going so fast and getting these opportunities? What is going on here?
Like it's been said, the words you were using, the story you were telling was exactly what I was thinking. So I immediately resonated with, oh, this isn't just in general. Do you want to get in the industry? I can help you. You're like, I'm an actor and a performer in general. So it was like, did you know that you can get on set without just being an actor? And like you can get on set not being an actor and have it still get you acting jobs. Actually, it was the weekend that I joined. I went to a film festival and got a paying gig from somebody that I met there. And then I went to Hawaii and did it there. And then I went to Japan and I did it there. And the get on shoots method. And so I ended up working for a game show in Japan and modeling. And I would PA for the photographers before I would get in front of the camera. So I would show up as the PA and then I'd get in front of the camera with them. But everyone that I shot with, I PA'd for first. And so they'd pay me to crew for them and then we would shoot. And so I did the same thing in Japan. And so it just kept working and it was so applicable. And so that's the other reason I think people go so fast is because there isn't, 9 weeks of prep. There's not really a learning curve. It's like, hey, this thing that you do, speaking to people, speaking the same language as them, go do it over here. And then tell me exactly where to go do it. And it doesn't feel like this thing, obviously it's a new experience. I've never called a production office before, but I've called people. And the way that you talk about it is like, hey, you call your grandma and tell her about what your dreams are. Go call this production guy and tell him this. I'm like, okay. And all the templates and so it was so easy to follow and easy to apply. And then when you see it works, it just starts integrating into like your being.
Can you talk about how working behind the camera has helped you in getting the biggest acting opportunities that you have gotten?
Get on shoots. What can I do? Let me start going to agencies and being like, hi, I can do this. You want to sign me? Also, you need any help? And so every time I went to an agent for an audition, I pitched being able to like work in the office with them. And the one that ended up signing me put me in the office. And so I started out just kind of at the front desk, ended up casting for them, ended up actually signing some people to the agency. And so that's where I got my first national commercial because I was casting it and they were doing it in couples and there was one girl that wasn't there. So I read for her and then booked it. That happened. And then through my email is Go for Bell. And that email alone got me on a set. Within 4 hours, I was the second AD and rode that feature for the rest of the time as the second AD. And that DP was DPing a short film and called me and was like, hey, our lead just pulled out. Can you do it? He's never seen me act. He's only seen me ever second AD on this feature that we did like months ago. Yeah, he pulled me in. So I acted in that one and that one won some awards, which was cool. And then I filmed this
this Tollywood as the lead, female lead. Well, the producer on that wrote Instant Karma, which is on Amazon Prime. He wrote the role for me. Her name was Samantha in the movie. And so he wrote and then directed that film. And I still had to audition. I didn't realize till after that he'd wrote it for me. So luckily I play me better than 30 other people. Book that, and that's on Amazon Prime. It all started with the get on shoots and the boomerang. Like even me being able to get the national commercial, like where my reel is, like it was just all coming from, I crewed first. And then people were like, if you can do whatever it is that you say you can do half as well as this thing that I'm seeing you do, then like, come on.
If they see you good at one thing, they assume you're good at other things. So that's what's happening.
I got my first PA job. Yeah, so it was with the Emmy nominated winner Jake Hunter, and I got to do the PA with him. And then I started for like applying for like, because I wanted to do costume design and wardrobe. So I was like, why not try in that, because I have education in that. So I started working in theater for musicals. I started assisting costume designers. Then I started also getting short films as a costume designer, being a costume designer.
You followed up with one of the costume designers or costume people, and they did help you, got you on one shoot, but then it dried up. And then they're like, well, we don't have anything else for you, because they have all of their alliances, and it takes a while to get to work your way in there. What was it about this program that got this ball rolling for you?
So basically just doing what the video says, and also having that confidence that you've got this. Like I have that, post-its on my walls that says everything works out for me. And I think I got it from one of your calls. And since then, everything is working out for me. And it's been like great. Like since May, I think. I started this program in March. Since May, I think I've been climbing up stepwise. And recently, I got hired for NFL Network as their wardrobe stylist. So
NFL.
Yeah,
NFL films.
So that's I really feel like it's been the dream, and it feels so good to be there.
How did you get the job at NFL Films?
There was a posting which did not say that it was for NFL. It was like they needed wardrobe stylists. Moments after my interview, I received a call in within 5 minutes saying, hey, we are hiring you.
Why do you think that they chose you?
The way I was saying it was with confidence. Like, this is how I work. This is how it is. And, I knew what I was doing.
So you had a good resume.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh, so that got you in the game. And then they're like, okay, let's see what she's like. Really, that interview is just like, do we want to spend like 10 hours with her, and what's her vibe like? And then they're like, she's delightful and she can do the job. Win-win. Yeah.
It's a win-win.
I joined the program. I'm in month 3 right now, going into month 4. Within month 2, I thankfully was able to get on a set already as a PA. So that was a lot of fun. It was a great reminder of why I love film.
I'd like you, Jake, to talk about how taking the leadership role with the union, with something that you're passionate about, with the Green Initiative, how that is impacting your career.
It was an opportunity that happened to come up. There were some floatings and musings about this newly formed Green Committee. We held a whole event on a Saturday back in June. And it was really to highlight different ways of bringing in sustainability and eco work, specifically within the art department. It's usually one of the biggest departments for sustainability issues. All those sets we build and stuff, and then if they just go in the dumpster, that's a whole lot of trash. Plus, we usually have several trucks running on a show. That's a lot of emissions. And the props and the set dressing, all the things that we're buying and stuff, if that's just going in the landfill after, that's a huge waste and it's a huge impact. My generation and younger, this is something we're growing up with. We're growing up learning how to recycle, and, with the idea that single use, feels bougie, but maybe isn't the best. So just little things within our personal lives. And then it was something I was reflecting in my design work as well. I would seek out recycled sets to use so that I wasn't buying fresh and building fresh, and applying a lot of the stuff I've learned with Janet's program too, just how to connect with people and reach out to people and get them excited and energized about something that's, affects all of us.
There's a lot of benefits to taking that leadership position because you're educating other peers. You have a reason to reach out to them and say, hey, did you know that this is now available for you? They want to hire somebody that's thinking like this.
One of the biggest things about being a leader is being able to delegate tasks that you're too busy to do. And it becomes very apparent in the moment where you have a goal that you're trying to accomplish, and all of a sudden 10 or 20 or 100 different things are pulling at your attention that have to get done, but you're busy focusing on the one priority thing. So then you learn how to like, oh, okay, like I can delegate this thing. Like my friend can draw on this chalkboard. So a lot of it is basically making your life easier. I think that's like a big thing about being a leader. Like it's a funny way to say it, but making your life easier is how the project gets done and how it gets finished smoothly.
When we're outside the industry, we know of actors and maybe directors and like maybe producers, but I didn't realize until I started PAing that there was a whole art department and you could be a production designer. So what a production designer does is I work with the director and the cinematographer to create the look of the film. So I design all of the sets, the props, make sure they're the right color, the right period, all of that. So it's a pretty involved role. I'm talking with the producers, executive producers, directors, all that sort of stuff. I'm usually one of the first people on a project. And it's a lot of big conversations, and I still get a little nervous about it sometimes.
How much money are you spending?
Anywhere from 100,000 to $1 million for low budget.
For one shoot?
For like a low budget feature, yeah. For a commercial, 100,000, 200,000. Some of mine have gone up to $500,000. And that's for labor for all our craftspeople and stuff, plus all the expenses and the trucks and all the stuff. Getting to PA and getting to get on these sets and see these other people having these conversations. You know, I'd listen when the production designer was talking to the director and like, what are they concerned about? What are they like? Why are they here? What are they doing? So that then as I got to move up and work in the art department and then art direct and now design as I do, I was able to see the responsibilities that I would be taking on modeled for me. And sometimes it was a don't do it this way example. So you see that sometimes. You see people conversing or the way they carry themselves on set or the way they do their work. And it's like, okay, I don't want to be like that. But these are situations that are going to come up. How am I going to handle that when I'm in that position? So having that vision of where you are wanting to go and watching the people that are in those roles currently is going to help a lot as you move up those ranks yourself and as you move into these bigger positions and take on more responsibility. You'll understand the conversations that are going to be coming as you're in these roles as a PA and getting onto set and stuff and looking around and all. Know that by the time you get into those bigger positions, you will have done all of this, and you'll have an idea. And you might not have the exact answer, but you'll know who to call and who to ask. So hold on to that. And you know, it's scary and frightening sometimes and overwhelming, but people do it every day. So if they can do it, why can't we?